Welcome back everyone, Cannon with Burger Motorsports here. Behind me is our 8Y RS3. This is gonna be a pretty awesome video. It starts from the stock sound clips, from the stock exhaust with just a mid pipe, moving over to an off-road test pipe, adding on our prototype intercooler with Chris over at CM Builds, as well as Fuel It charge pipe injection, CPI. So we have 11 injectors on this car. It has a factory 10, now we have 11 to help try and make us a whole lot more power and see if we can get into the 500 wheel horsepower range. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video already. You're absolutely gonna love it. We got a ton of stuff in store for you guys in this video. The RS3 put onto the lift. About to raise it up here in a second. Let's pull the stuff out of the trunk. We got the front sway bar. Shout out to Eurocode for sending this to me. I actually already have the rear sway bar from Eurocode on the car. There she is. Just having the rear sway bar alone has already made this car handle so much better. And we've got the back here. Oh yeah. I cannot wait to freaking hear this car. It's gonna sound so cool. All right, Chris, what's the hardest part about doing the downpipe on an RS3?
Hardest part? All of it.
All of it? All of it's just the thing?
No, it's gonna be lowering the subframe for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot it's the subframe, huh?
All right guys, we got our factory RS3 intercooler off. And as you can see a comparison between this and the Burger Motorsports prototype, it's a big difference there. Core measures 12 by 24 by 3 3/4. We're basically almost tripling the size of the factory intercooler. I'm gonna be welding our 1/8 MPT bung for our CPI housing, which will be on the cold side going into the throttle body. If you guys don't want to upgrade your intercooler, you can always get a 1/8 MPT weld-on bung and do the same thing on your stock intercooler. As you can see here, I just welded a 1/8 MPT bung to the end of this aftermarket intercooler. You could do the same thing to your factory one because the factory intercooler does have aluminum intake to be able to drill a hole and accept it. We have our BMS intercooler installed, and as you can see, the fitment is perfect. This project's a wrap. They're gonna go throw it on the dyno and let's see what we make with just the front wheels. So we currently have the BMS prototype intercooler on there. We got the CPI kit on there. Pime's gonna go wire it up and it's gonna be strapped to the dyno and let's see what we can make.
Now that all the mods are installed on the RS3, let's go ahead and get its baseline and compare it to the all-wheel drive baseline we got from like 6 months ago with the car. There she goes, front-wheel drive RS3. We're here to test to see if there's an actual horsepower difference between all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. That sounds good. Check this out. 410 wheel horsepower and 393 wheel torque. You want to go ahead and throw on the all-wheel drive baseline for us? Here it is. All-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive. A few months back, it made 368 wheel horsepower and 350 wheel torque. Since then, 410 wheel horsepower and 393 wheel torque. Here is JB4 Map 1 on a front-wheel drive 8Y RS3. 436 wheel horsepower and 406 wheel torque. The car already needs some higher octane fuel, so we're gonna splash in a bit of ethanol right now, bring up the ethanol percentage so we don't get any sort of timing corrections moving on to JB4 Map 2. This is JB4 Map 2 on the E20 mix, which is essentially a 93 octane equivalent. Sounds so good. Wow. All right, here, let's go check this out. JB4 Map 2, 462 wheel horsepower and 436 wheel torque. Go ahead and run JB4 Map 3 now. 484 wheel horsepower and 452 wheel torque. Here's JB4 Map 6 E50 Mix CPI. been some time since we've had the Audi RS3 back on the dyno. The car is back to being all-wheel drive. We recently just took it out to Bakersfield, California and ran it in a 100+ degree day. The car did a best of 149 miles per hour. Now that we're back here at BMS, we've got the car back on the dyno to see how much power we can really extract from this thing with no flash tune, JB4 only, as well as some other Burger Motorsports and Fuel It products. Something that's a bit different from last time is we have our new 5-inch intake. It was a prototype, now that's the official piece that we just tested. So our 5-inch intakes for the stock turbo on the RS3 will be coming out very soon. We currently have our 5-inch intake on order. They'll be in wrinkle black, not that raw, unfinished look like you guys just saw. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to head to www.burgertuning.com. Let's go ahead and run the car. JB4 Map 0 now with the intercooler, the CPI, back to all-wheel drive, our 5-inch intake, and an E37 mix in the tank. CPI is off for this Map 0 baseline, so the only performance gains you guys might see is from our off-road test pipes, our Burger Motorsports intake, and or our Burger Motorsports intercooler. Alrighty, Pam, let's go ahead and run JB4 Map 0. Walking up to this thing, holy crap, you could probably think this wasn't Map 0. 424 wheel horsepower, 412 wheel torque. If I show you guys something real quick, this might make a little bit more sense. If we open the gas cap here, you can see they want you to fill it with 93 octane from factory. When we previously dynoed this car when it's completely stock with 91 octane in it, you guys got to remember that's 91 octane from California. It's not the best. California, Arizona, Nevada, they don't have the best 91 octane. So to have the 91 octane now boosted with a bunch of E85 at an E37 mix, the RS3 is able to run a lot more efficiently without having as much timing corrections from the California 91 octane prior. You pair that ethanol mix up with our Burger Motorsports intake, our Burger Motorsports intercooler, and the off-road downpipe, and those are the kind of numbers you can expect with no tuning modification. Change the car over to JB4 Map 4. 479 wheel horsepower, 470 wheel torque. Up on the screen, we have the car when we first ran it. It made 426 wheel horsepower, 434 wheel torque on an E30 mix, all-wheel drive with none of the mods on the car. Then we ran front-wheel drive in this video. It made 500 wheel horsepower, 468 wheel torque. And now back to all-wheel drive with the same mods, and the only difference being our 5-inch intake. The car made 479 wheel horsepower, 470 wheel torque. It's kind of crazy to see these numbers like that because off of quick mental math, that's roughly a 4% drivetrain loss from all-wheel drive to front-wheel drive, which isn't bad whatsoever. Let's go ahead and up the car to JB4 Map 5 and see if that 4% drivetrain loss still stays true. Here is JB4 Map 5. JB4 Map 5 on E35. Back in our original video, the car made 463 wheel horsepower, 452 wheel torque. Front wheel drive, the car made 515 wheel horsepower, 477 wheel torque. Map 5 with CPI E50 and all-wheel drive, the car made 489 wheel horsepower, 490 wheel torque. After that run, we're looking right around a 5.5% difference between all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. Here goes JB4 Map 6 with an E50 mix, CPI, intake, and our intercooler. Turn the fans off real quick. Here's our numbers for this one. Front wheel drive, the car made 530 wheel horsepower, 501 wheel torque. Switch back over to all-wheel drive, 507 wheel horsepower, 479 wheel torque. This last run is showing a little less than 5% drivetrain loss. That being said, I just don't necessarily know if I find that to be true whatsoever. At least as far as the dyno goes, it might show those numbers, but on the street, once the car's under some real load, I think our drivetrain differential is going to be quite a bit different. That being said, we have real dyno results for you guys, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Just because why not, I wanted to put this car on a Map 1 and raise the CPI up a ton, less boost, lots of fuel, see if it can shoot some fat flames on the dyno, because I'm destined to get these flames.
if I let her raise you.